So now, the next topic is about screen-free parenting. And the notion and the idea that parenting is not about children, actually, it's about parents. It's about you. Focusing on yourself. So when we focus on ourselves, we're able to have a healthier, happier families. So how do you feel about this notion that parenting is about you? Does that make sense? Is it hard? Is it strange? Is it different? Okay. Stressful? Okay. How about you think of the last fight or conflict you have with your teen? Think back. What did you do at that moment? Imagine you changed your behavior. Do you think the outcome of that conflict will change? If you change your own behaviors? That's what we are talking about. In the Quran, chapter 59, Surah Al-Hashr, verse 10, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, رَبَّنَا اغْفِرْ لَنَا وَلِإِخْوَانِنَا. Allah forgive us and our brothers. It's about us first. Focus on the self first. In another ayah, chapter 66, Surah Al-Tahrim, verse 6. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. O you believers, protect yourselves and your families from the hellfire. So the focus here is on you, on us first. See, the Quran is telling us to focus on ourselves. This is not a new concept. It's like a very old concept since the Prophet had the revelation. So, what is our biggest enemy as parents? It is our emotional reactivity. We scream, we hold grudges, we lecture. The silent treatment is actually screaming. Just, you don't exist to me. You don't exist. This is screaming. Excessive punishment. I'm not going to give you your phone for a year. Shame. Sarcasm. Oh, that one is really bad when you make fun of your teen, especially in public. Giving up. I don't care anymore. You don't matter to me anymore. You don't listen. That's it. I don't care. Controlling and slander. So when we do these things, what do we lose? What do we lose? What do you think? Yes. So we lose control. We lose respect. We lose relationships, the family closeness, and integrity. How many times I hear teenagers at my practice saying, no, I'm not going to tell my parents. I'm not. They don't understand. Like I have a particular client that she refuses to talk about how she feels to her parents. And sometimes I bring the father in. The girl is sitting there in a corner, will not talk. The minute the father steps out of the room, she's a different person. Oh, let's talk now. And I'm observing both. It just breaks my heart. Why can't be the same person with her father? And when I try to talk to the father will dismiss that. It's very heartbreaking. Because you see what this teen is capable of. She is capable of connecting. She is capable of expressing her feelings. But why not to her parents? Well, at least they brought her to counseling, so she has someone to talk to. How about if we have parents that do not believe or agree in counseling? What are they going to do, these teens? She's going to talk and go to her friends at school or whatever, or online? We are actually losing a lot in the process. Parents need to remain in control. They need to remain in control. They feel overstretched, unprepared, unappreciated. But the only way to retain position of control, actual influence, by staying in control of ourselves. So the only person we can control is ourselves. We cannot control someone else. So when we control ourselves, we have a greater influence or impact to have healthy relationships, and we can influence the outcome of any event. And that's screen-free parenting. So to control your own emotions, to control your own responses and actions, and to be able to influence the course of events, that's screen-free parenting. Do we want that for our kids? To self-control. We want them to be able to say no when inappropriate. We don't want them to be influenced by someone else. We want them to have their decisions on their own. We need to model that for them. We need to set the emotional tone to teach them how to handle emotions. Children and teens, they need us to be in control because they cannot handle their own emotions. They need someone to rely on, which is us. So screen-free parenting is not about lowering your voice, actually. It's about integrity. How can I tell my child, do not scream, don't yell, and I am all over the place, screaming and yelling and doing all of this kind of stuff, so I'm not modeling. If you are not in control, you cannot be in charge. So the hadith, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, the true strong person is not the one who wrestles people down. Actually, he is the one who controls themselves when angry. So we have been encouraged all along to focus on ourselves and to calm down and not to be angry. So when we say to the child or to the teen, don't make me angry, who got the control here? We gave away the control to them. We have a choice to keep our control in our hand. We want to be in charge. Being in charge means that we want to influence and motivate them to take the right decisions. We don't want to control them. We want to positively influence them. So to be in charge and to be under control, you need to have the sole responsibility of our actions, emotions, and responses. So let's do a quick exercise. Each one, please write down your emotional set points, 3 of them. Your hot buttons. What sets you off? And circle the worst one. Write 3 of them. So what makes you so mad? And by the way, this applies not only to your relationship with your children, it can apply to your relationship in general. Because when you have 3 buttons and it sets you off and you will get so angry, that means it will work with, it's the same with your spouse and with your children, your siblings. So it's important to identify this. So, growing up is hard, especially for grown-up. We need to create whenever we are so anxious, we actually create the very result that we are trying to avoid. So we need to take responsibility of our own actions and feelings. So the ultimate goal here actually is to remain calm. So in Surah Luqman alayhi salam says to his son, وَخْفِضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ. Avoid screaming. Don't yell. Lower your voice. So are we following what we have been advised to do? So when we place the remote control in someone else's hand, we are actually relinquishing the control. So if you're giving it to a child, they cannot even, or to a teenager, they cannot even handle their own emotions, let alone ours. Can we imagine how dangerous this is? So we want to be calm and stay connected. So when the teens come to us and they don't say to us what they really want, they kind of test us. They're angry and mad, and see how we're going to react. So if you are able to control ourselves and stay calm and listen, then they're going to tell us. So we want to take their emotions, we want to take their relationship with us seriously, but not personally. Nothing is personal. Whatever they are going through is a normal stage of life. And it's going to pass. We were teens before. A different setting, different time, but we were teens and we know how difficult this can be. We want to provide an environment for our children where there is security, stability, safety. They can talk about their emotions. They can share how they feel. Let them surprise you. So when we can influence them to take the right decisions, then they will bear the consequences. They will understand the concept of consequences. If they don't take decisions, they will understand it. So the goal is not to stifle or suppress their emotions. The goal is to steer them towards positive, constructive expressions, to have positive responses. So how do we connect with our children or teens? We want to acknowledge their feelings. We want to encourage cooperation and talk about the problem, not you as a character, as a person, you were bad. No, what you did was, it has this problem, 1, 2, 3, 4, we need to be specific. And we don't want to bring past conflicts into this current one. We need to fight or to have conflict, disagree in a fair way. So just talk about the issue at hand and try to resolve things. We want to share information. We want to use our words and express our feelings so they learn from us how to do the same. We also want to offer them choices. So we offer them choices, they make decisions on which choice they're going to go by. Then they are making decisions. We're promoting taking decisions with our children. So to conclude, screaming and the silent treatment are never the key to have healthy relationships. Staying calm and connected are the key to have healthy relationships and connection for life. We want them to love us. We want them to be with us, not because they have to, because they want to. We want to have this kind of relationship that's like friendship, not burden. The friendship happens after they become adults. When they are teen, we have to have structure. We're parents and they are teens, and we have to connect with them. And also, we need to act like a team. As parents, the mother and the father, they should be a team. So they agree on how to discipline, how to deal with their children. So next, we're going to have a quick exercise. So if you have your pencils and papers, please. So how about you take some time to write down the 3 conflicts you had with the top 3 conflicts you have with your teens. What do you fight about with your teen often? What is it? Would you like some pens and papers? Would you like some pens and papers?
Like what you like about your teens?
No. So you talk about the conflict, the fight, yeah. What type of conflict? What conflicts do you have with your teens? Write 3 of them. Write them down. Do you need a pencil and paper? Do you have it? Okay. So what do you disagree with your conflict often about? About what? Homeworks? Their curfew? Eating healthy? What is it? Okay, so write it down. And I would like you please to circle the worst one. Like the one that the conflict that is consistent, always, all the time, you always go back to the same issue over and over and over. What is it? Next, how about you write down your feelings when that conflict occurs? How do you feel? Do you feel angry, disappointed, hurt, upset? How do you feel? Okay, and then write your behavior. What do you do after that feeling? What do you do? Do you get mad and leave the room? Do you tell them that I am disappointed, you are nothing, I don't care anymore? What do you do? What do you say? What is it, the very behavior that you do right after that feeling? Do you curse? Do you slap? What do you do? And this is for your own eyes. No one is going to look at these papers. Then write down, after you do the behavior you've taken, what did your teen do after you behaved that way? What did they do? Did you have a plan to go out and then he said, you know what, I'm not going with you? Oh, I'm not cleaning that room. What is it? What did they do? Now think for a second. If you change your behavior, like instead of slamming the door or cursing them or doing whatever, choose something else. Think of something different. Okay, so you did something different. Imagine how will that impact your teen's behavior and the output or the outcome of the event. Do you think the result will be different? Do you like that difference? Do you like the new result? Is it better than the first one? So when you go home based on this, take a moment and think of how can you focus on yourself and change to have a better connection and relationship with your teens. Think about it. Our children, they are our investment. We spend time, emotions, energy, our lives. Are you ready to just to throw all of this away? With our emotional reactivity, we are actually gambling with the most important relationships in our lives, our children. Think about that. That concludes the session today. I hope that was helpful. And thank you for attending. Thank you.